No.
Hey, Chad. All right, family, we're going to go ahead and get started. Shabbat Shalom. You are ready. Go ahead and praise, worship the Most High. Let's all go ahead and stand up. Use this time to sing aloud. Grateful and come to Him with all gratitude, peace.
What is this? Is that on YouTube?
Isaiah chapter 35, verse 8 says, and there shall be a highway and a way, and it shall be called the way of the CEPHER. The unclean does not pass over it, but it is for those who walk the way, and no fool shall wander on it. Follow me, set me free, let it be. Now I'm free, you in me, let it be. Father, please, protect me, let it be. Shabbat shalom. As we enter into this remember what you gave. Your Sabbath for us to keep. To live you in harmony. Make completed knowledge of grace. Bless the seventh day. You rest your hands on the work that you made. We say Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. We say Shabbat shalom. We say Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. In all his ways, and in the seventh day Elohim, he did work which he had done. He rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And he blessed the seventh day and set it apart, because on it he rested from all the work that he made. He will set apart the will sanctify your name, going throughout the age. Hold on to hear the truth that you gave, as you walk into your rest, appointed for all your your markers here, your sight, to see what's wrong, this treacherous time. Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, shalom. We sing Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, shalom. We sing Shabbat, shalom. We sing Shabbat, shalom. We sing Shabbat, shalom. We praise you, Yahuah Most High. We pray you hear us up in the sky. Yahusha, let your Father know we are his children, YESHA'YAHU. Do our best to obey. Father, guide us in the way, for you here today. With open hearts, we trust your way. Shabbat, shalom. Remember the sky. Set it apart. Shabbat, 6 days the Lord is done. He shall do all your work. But on the seventh day, it's a Sabbath day. God, you're everything. God, be anywhere. You know your son, know your daughter, know your male servant, know your female servant, know your cows, know your sheep. For your 6 days, Yah, made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in it, rested on the seventh. Therefore, Yah bless the Sabbath day and set it apart. HalleluYah. HalleluYah. Give me the forget me at all. Your righteousness I will see. Give me relief. You set me apart. You shape my heart. So hear my voice when I speak. I will call on you. I will trust in truth. I will guard your word. All I do, you're so good to me. Help me see your loving commitment. Me so please answer me. Oh God, hear my plea. When I see your face, won't you guide my feet? Oh yeah, so please. What is that prayer that you got? Oh God, hear my plea. When I see your face, won't you guide my feet? Until my heart that you give me peace to say, protect me that I see the purpose you had for me. I'm drawing closer to you now. Focus on walking in truth. Yeah, I heard your call and I'm here to stay. Not looking back at your way. Yeah, I will call on you. I will trust in you. I will guard your word. All I do, you're so good to me. Help me see your loving commitment. You love me, so please answer me. Oh, God, hear my plea. When I see your face, won't you guide my feet? Right as the answer me. Oh, God, hear my plea. When I see won't you guide my feet? Psalm 86:1 says, incline your ear, O Yah, answer me, for I am poor and needy. Guard my feet, for I am lovingly committed. You are my Elohim. See your servant who is trusting in you. Show me favor, O Yah, for I cry to you all day long. Bring joy to my being, your servant. For you, Yah, are good and ready to forgive. Bring loving commitment to all who call upon you. Give ear, O Yah, to my prayer. Listen to my voice. Voice of my fear. Get up my distress and call upon you, for you answer me. So please answer. Focused on walking true. I've learned your call, and I'm here to stay. Not looking back away. Let's go ahead and raise our hands, bow our heads, pray. Heavenly Father, Yahuah, the creator of the heavens and the earth, thank you for this. For the blessings, thank you for this day, thank you for this opportunity, always that we get to gather with our brothers and sisters in the faith, in this body, to come together and worship you in truth and righteousness, learn about you, and learn about how you expect us to be as we walk in this life. Thank you for your provision, strength, and courage that you give us every single day as we walk this earth, proclaim your name, and tell our brothers and sisters, friends and family all about the truth of who you are, truth about your son, how you sent him here for us to be an example, how he is the way, the truth, the life. We go through him to get to you. Thank you for giving that blessing to us, giving us the opportunity to have a personal relationship with your son and yourself. Just pray that you answer our prayers, that we seeking you every single day, knocking on your doors. You understand that we got to keep knocking for you to answer. You understand that you allow us to go through trials, tribulation, to strengthen us. So thank you for understanding that we are, knowing that we are even worthy enough that you put us through these things so that we can build, just become stronger human beings to create us to be, so that our light can be illuminated in this entire world. Yeah, we just pray for healing for our brothers and sisters who are ill, need your strength right now. Fill them up with your spirit, touch them in the way that they know that they've been touched by you, so that they can draw close to you, find strength in you, God. Praying for our brothers and sisters around the world, also preaching the good news message, doing their best to keep your right rulings, your Torah, your instructions. Give them the courage to stand up against people who oppose them, persecute them. Let them know that with you fight their battles. Let them know to find strength and continue to draw power from you, God. Be with us, feed us properly here today. Let us learn, teach us your examples from your children in the past. Teach us not to walk in those ways and be stubborn and complain and grumble like how they did. We understand that this book was written for our sake. We use all those stories as an example for us so that we can do better, so that we can be saved from this wicked system. can be saved and live eternity, live with eternity in the kingdom without pain, without sorrow, without sickness, without death. We look forward to that time when we can break bread with our brothers and sisters and praise and worship with all joy and gladness, smiles on our faces that we made it, that we did it, we endured to the end. And we look forward to the building of your rebuilding of our spiritual bodies that we're going to be given, building of our new dwelling places in the kingdom. Look forward to the time we get to sit side by side with animals that we never thought we could ever have encounters with, be in complete peace, harmony with all your creation. God, we love you, we praise you, we bless your name. We ask for forgiveness for the times we fall short, when we make mistakes, we stumble, we trip. But thank you for always reaching out back to us and allowing us to stand back up and helping us back up on our feet, keeping us on the highway, keeping us on the straight and narrow path. So please forgive us, Heavenly Father. We pray this in your Son's name, Yahusha, Mashiach, Messiah. HalleluYah. Amen. Let it be.
Is that your YouTube? I was like over there, I was like, is this on YouTube?
Awesome. Good morning, Set Apart family. Morning. Hope you guys enjoy the music. We know that y'all enjoyed it. And we enjoy singing to y'all. Hallelujah. Got a couple people that. Hey, Marlon, can you, are you controlling the Zoom from your phone? Okay. I need you to mute, I guess, because I'm hearing my video. Can you make sure everyone's muted? If ever they pop on me. Okay. We made it through another week. Okay, question now. Question, serious question. All right, who remembers our study from last week? Oh, yeah. Okay, so how many of us made it through this week without a single grumble and complaint? Shaka? No, I mean, honest question. I mean, let's reflect, okay, on our study that we had last week, okay? No. Did you guys find in this past week that this past study about grumbling and complaining, did it pop up in your speech, in conversations? Did you look back and when you were speaking to somebody, maybe you had a complaint and a grumble, and you're like, oh shucks, dude. Let me take a step back. Did anybody have that experience? A couple of us. Awesome. Does anybody want to share that experience really quick? Well, what was that experience like? Microphone. Who wants to share? I'm so sorry, I'm joining like Taylor.
It just made me more self-aware. When I felt like I was about to be like there was traffic a lot this week.
Yeah.
And when there was traffic, I was like about to complain, but I just realized how grateful I am, and I get these beautiful views while waiting in traffic. So it just made me self-aware, and I feel like I complained a lot less this week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. See what the Word of God can do, and then, it makes you feel better, and like you're more at peace. Anybody else want to share their experience of catching themselves when they were in the midst of possibly complaining? Right? Jesse.
So this past week, Lenny went to a different island for a few days, so it was just me and baby. So there's a lot of times that I could have really crossed my mind. I think I was like, take care of this baby all by myself. But now you think about it, it's like there's a lot of single women out there that are doing this with like 5 other children. And it's like, again, the grand scheme of things, I got it really easy.
Thank you for that share. It puts things into perspective. You start to think prospectively, like, okay, what I got to complain about? Other women got 5 children doing this on their own. Just got babies that's on, you sit back in the house and really nothing to kind of got it easy. Not easy, but the fact that you allowed yourself to see that. Anybody else want to share experience? David?
Okay, actually, I wanted to share that I just realized I totally forgot to even think about that all week. So, I know that's not what answering the question exactly, but now I'm like, okay, whatever I'm listening to on Sabbath, to really intentionally take that on with me the rest of the week.
Okay, you're not the only one. Okay, so it's important. Transformation can be done, will be done if we allow ourselves to really reflect on what we learn, think about the things that are coming out of our mouth. Honestly, there can be healing within your family, your relationship with your spouse, with your kids, that way. So this week, we are going to continue with that study from last week. Okay, so just, a few things that we learned that we got to take into consideration just as a reminder. Okay, well, why are we even, going over these stories in the Torah? Why are we going over these stories of how Yah handled his children? Christina, did you want to share something? Yeah, so that we can learn from their mistakes. Because remember, we read, right? We read in Corinthians. We read in 1 Corinthians. Let me just read it really quick. Paul gave us a reminder in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. For I do not wish you to be ignorant, brothers. And all their fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and all were immersed into motion in the cloud and in the sea, and ate the same spiritual food and drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed. The rock was Messiah. However, with them Elohim was not well pleased, but they were laid low in the wilderness, and these became examples for us. Okay, so this is why it's so important to go and read these stories. The stories on how he brought the children out of Mitzrayim, out of Egypt, and into the promised land. That journey, all the stories that happened in between. Because those stories are an example for us. Okay? So that we should not lust after evil as those indeed lusted.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why it's so important. That's why we're going to take our time here. We're going to read the stories. We're going to learn. Okay? So then after that, we went over Nehemiah chapter 9. We went over pretty much the whole chapter. Kind of briefly talking about the journey. Yeah. So we're going to start here today with Exodus chapter 15, verse 22. Okay, Exodus chapter 15, verse 22. Can I get somebody to read a volunteer 22 through 27? Exodus chapter 15, verse 22 through 27. Can I get a reader? Lenny.
You said verse 22.
Yep.
Okay, so the end of the chapter. And Moshe brought Yisrael from the sea of reeds, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And they came to Marah, and they were unable to drink from the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. So the name of it was called Marah. And the people grumbled against Moshe, saying, "What are we to drink?" Then he cried out to Yahuah, and Yahuah showed him a tree. And when he threw it into the waters were made sweet. There he made a law and a right ruling for them, and there he tried them. And he said, "If you diligently obey the voice of Yahuah, your Elohim, and do what is right in his eyes, and shall listen to his commandments, and shall guard all his laws, I shall bring on you none of these diseases I brought on the Israelites, for I am Yahuah who heals you." And they came to Elim, where there were 12 fountains of water and 70 palm trees, and they camped there by the waters.
Okay, so something you're going to recognize, I'm not going to tell you right now, but we see here the children of Yisrael, okay, they grumbled and complained that they had no water. And we see that Yah gave them water. He made the bitter waters sweet. Told Moshe, "Hey, go do this, and then drink some water." Okay. We're going to see a pattern because we're going to go from story to story to story. Okay. Exodus, let's turn to now to Exodus chapter 16, verse 1. So, from that story, what are we seeing just from that story? That first story. What are we learning from there? That enough?
God is going to provide for us.
Yes.
But there's a way to go about it too. You don't have to complain to get what we do. But I thought it was awful when we dropped the tree in there. And then I thought in 26 hours also. Stately truth that say who it was you, right? And so we know who the source of our healing is as well.
Okay. He's going to provide for us. Like what Batman said, but it's about the way we go about it. How do we go about it? How do we speak and talk to our Heavenly Father when we need something? We complain and grumble, get it? God knows what we need. He knows our needs. So let's continue. And He provided. They grumbled. Okay, the point is they grumbled, they complained, and then He provided. Okay? Exodus chapter 16, verse 1. It says, "And they set out from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Yahusha came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second moon after their going out of the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt. And all the congregation of the children of Yahusha grumbled against Moshe and Aaron in the wilderness. Okay, so now we see again grumbling against Moshe. Okay? Against the mouthpiece of Yahweh. Okay, the one anointed, appointed to bring him up. Something that I kind of caught here, this got brought to mind. Okay. How much people, let's think about it, right? How much people does it take to mislead a whole congregation? Just one. Okay? We see it also shows account here in 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 6. You guys want to turn there? 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 6. All it takes is just one person to start grumbling and complaining about God's plans. Why are we doing it this way? Let's go do it that way. Okay? And it says, your boasting is not good. Do you not know that a little leavens the entire lump? Okay? Just a little bit. Just one person. Just a little bit of leaven. Going to ruin the entire batch. Okay? Therefore, cleanse out the old leaven so that you are a new lump as you are unleavened. For also Messiah, our Pesach, was slaughtered for us. Okay, so all it takes is just a little bit. Then the whole congregation grumbling and complaining. Okay? Let's turn back to Exodus chapter 16. Let's continue with verse 3. It says, and the children of Yahusha said to them, if only we had died by the hand of Yah in the land of Mitzrayim, when we sat by the pots of meat, and when we eat bread to satisfaction. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to put all this assembly to death with hunger. Okay, let's stop here. What's going on here? What do you guys see? What's being revealed to you in this passage? This is chapter 16, verse 3. Exodus. Lenny.
They were so not satisfied that they would rather dwell in the land of Mitzrayim.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, they're totally disrespecting what he's just done for them, which is crazy, because he's just resting them on it and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back now.
Exactly. Babe.
Sounds like they're so emotional about them now that they're totally forgetting about what happened then.
Yeah, and all correct. And what are they also doing? They're also remembering their past life. Like, man, I used to be able to sit next to pots of meat, and eat my fill. I'd rather go back to doing that. Now I'm in this wilderness, starving, thirsty. God's promising to give us this promised land, but man, it's hard to get there. To that.
Also, there's spiritual thing where they preach worship, not like they don't preach worship in the wilderness now. They're forgetting that.
Yep. Thank you. So another thing too I thought is that they'd rather die in satisfaction with me than pursue the promise of the promise of God's promise to them. Sounds like the YOLO lifestyle, right? You only live once, it's all good. Just do whatever you want now. Let's just satisfy the needs now. Let's continue. Verse 4. And Yahuah said to Moshe, see, I am raining bread from the heavens for you. And the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day in order to try them, whether they walk in my Torah or not. Okay. Why did he allow this? Why? What was the purpose of all this? What's the purpose of all this?
Ultimately, to teach them to rely on Him, like so. Instead of us going to our refrigerator and going to break this off the tree or we're thinking about the front of the yard. So that's what's powerful about this illustration is it pays forward to us today as well.
Yes. To try his children, Joe. They're accusing God. We're also going to see that, they're going to be hugely, Moshe is going to be getting it from these people. Heavily. Okay. So God's still testing them. He's testing them. He's trying them, seeing if they're made worthy of entering into the promised land. Okay. He doesn't want filth in his land. Yeah. Verse 5, and it shall be on the 6th day that they shall prepare what they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather to you. And Moshe and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, that evening you shall know that Yah has brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. And in the morning you shall see the esteem of Yah, for he hears your grumblings against Yah. So they're grumbling to Moshe, but it's ultimately against Yah. You guys seen that? Okay? They're grumbling against the appointed one. But Yah is not seeing it as grumbling against him, he's grumbling against me. Okay? He's my mouthpiece. Listen to him. Yeah. Moshe said, is that Yah? And Moshe said, in that Yahuah gives you meat to eat in the evening and in the morning bread to satisfaction. For Yah hears your grumblings which you have made against him. It's like, not grumbling against me. Go talk to the Most High. Talk to the Most High about what your issues are. Okay? It's against Yah. What are we? Your grumbling are not against us, but against Yahuah. Moshe said to Aaron, say to all the congregation of the children of Yashua, come near before Yah, for he has heard your grumblings. And it came to be as Aaron spoke to all the congregation of the children of Yashua, that they looked toward the wilderness and see the esteem of Yah appear in the cloud. Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, I have heard the grumblings of the children of Yashua. Speak to them, saying, in the evening you are to eat meat, and in the morning you are to be satisfied with bread, and you shall know that I, Yahuah, am Yahuah your Elohim. And it came to be that the quails came up in the evening, covered the camp, and in the morning the day they were around the camp. And the layer of dew went up, and see, on the surface of the wilderness was a small brown substance, as fine as frost on the ground. And the children of Yashua saw, they said to each other, what is it? For they did not know what it was. Moshe said to them, it is bread which Yah has given you to eat. So what are we learning from this? Shield, get out of there. Get there. He had his hands all in the clock right here. So what are we learning from this story? same story, different scene. Okay. Children are grumbling, complaining, and then we also see Yah again providing. Okay. Yah having compassion on them. Ultimately, like what Yahuah said, we rely on Him. He wants the children to understand to rely on Him. We need to rely on Him. Okay? But again, there's a way we go about it. You're going to see in a little bit why I say that. Okay? And we turn to our next story, Exodus chapter 17. Can we get a reader, chapter 1 through 7? YESHA'YAHU. Exodus chapter 17, 1 through 7. If you could read 1 and 2 first and then stop. And then we'll read the rest of the book. Okay? So just read verses 1 and 2.
Exodus 17:1, and all the congregation of the children of Yahusha set out on their journey from the wilderness of Sin, according to the mouth of Yahuah, and camped in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people strove with Moshe and said, "Give us water to drink." And Moshe said to them, "Why do you strive with me? Why do you try, Yahuah?"
Okay, so can we all step into the shoes of Moshe, okay, and experience what he's going through? What is he going through? What is he experiencing?
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? That kind of attitude, like they complain about, they know Yah isn't going to take them nowhere and not give them some water. You know what I mean? And so He's always going to provide for us. So the scheme of things, just enjoy the ride. That's what they're saying.
Anybody else? John.
Moshe is also saying that he has no control over whether they have water or not yet. Ask Yah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, continue. Hear me now. I see that. You want to add to that? Yeah.
Also, I see Moshe being kind of like the physical embodiment of the Most High, like seeing everything that the Most High is going through, with his people. It's like firsthand, he's getting like the front view of the front seat of like the show, what's going on.
Yeah. So not only Yah is going through it, but Moshe has to deal with it too. Okay. We're gonna see how he expresses his anger later on today. Continue though, here we are. We're going to continue 3 to 7.
Exodus 17:3, and the people thirsted there for water, and the people grumbled against Moshe and said, "Why did you bring us out of Mitzrayim to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" Then Moshe cried out to Yahuah, saying, "What am I to do with this people? Yet a little and they shall stone me." And Yahuah said to Moshe, "Pass over before the people and take with you some of the elders of Yashrael, and take in your hand your rod with which you struck the river, and go. See, I am standing before you there on the rock in Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people shall drink." And Moshe did so before the eyes of the elders of Yashrael, and he called the name of the place Massa and Meribah, because of the strife of the children of Yashrael, and because they tried Yahuah, saying, "Is Yahuah in our midst or not?"
What are we learning here? Let me see. Here we go.
You're just seeing a whole lot of consistent lack of faith, and it's like you're seeing here that they're having trouble putting faith in something that they can't see. It's like they need a physical thing to be shown in order to feel like they're being blessed. But it's like Yahuah doesn't operate in material things. He can put power into those things, but it has to be with him as the head of that power, or else it's just a material object, you know. So they're focusing their worship in the wrong place.
Thank you. Lenny?
I believe what he's also demonstrating is that we have to be tough to be one of his chosen ones. He's trying his children right now. You know what I mean? If we're consistently complaining about whatever it is that they want, you know, he's making this as an example. We gotta be strong, tough to be one of his chosen.
Correct. Joe?
As soon as they get uncomfortable, they want to complain. It's part of the fruit of the spirit. Knowing that it's going to be
Thank you for that. Lonnie?
I was also thinking, actually grace, because this is 2 times now they're grumbling and he actually gives them what they want. It's not that he's rewarding grumbling, but he's like understands where they're at and is okay, I'm gonna teach you through the process, but you're gonna, I'm sure, like, I'm gonna give you chances to learn, mess up, but then learn, and I'll show you and work with you. And I'm sure there's gonna come a point in time though, like, it's not like you're grumbling, but right now he's showing a lot of grace.
Yes, absolutely. A lot. Okay, I like what Joe said about long suffering. You know, as soon as you got it good, something goes wrong, boom, you blow up. You know. So thank you for your shares. It was powerful. Okay, just think about that. Okay, so now Numbers 11, verse 1. Numbers chapter 11, verse 1. Let's start there. And it came to be when the people were as complainers. And this isn't just any people, this is Yah's people. The children. It came to be that they were as complainers. What we got to complain about? Think about everything God blesses us every day in our life. It was evil in the ears of Yah. So when Yah hears complaining, what is it like in the ears of Yah? Evil. So when we complain, this is how Yah perceives it, as evil in his ears. Okay, again, it came to be when the people were as complainers, constantly complaining, because now we're in Numbers, okay? It was evil in the ears of Yah, and Yah heard it, and his displeasure burned. So you could almost say his ears burned. Yes? How many of us, like, people complaining at you about this and that, your ears burn? Yeah, sometimes. Okay? I mean, it's an exact, representation of why your ears, same thing happened with Yah. Okay? So Yah heard it, and his displeasure burned, and the fire of Yah burned among them, and consumed those in the outskirts of the camp. So now there comes a time when Yah says, all right, I had enough of your grumbling and complaining. I've been feeding you, giving you water, providing for you. Your sandals didn't wear out, your garments never wore out. I'm about to bring you into this land flowing with milk and honey, and promise your forefathers. And all the grumbling and complaining is like, done. I need to make an example out of you. Everybody in the outskirts of the camp perish. Is that what this is saying here right now? Is that what God's teaching us, showing us? Yes? The people cried out to Moshe. And Moshe prayed to Yah, and the fire died down. And he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of Yahuah had burned among them. And the mixed multitude who were in their midst lusted greatly. So the children of Yashrael also wept again and said, who is giving us meat to eat? Okay, now we're looking back, going back, grumbling and complaining about food. They just experienced half the camp or the outskirts of the camp being burned up. And something interesting we picked up here, the mixed multitude. The mixed multitude weren't Yashrael. The mixed multitude was the ones that came along with Yashrael out of Mitzrayim. So these ones were persuading the children, telling them, oh, we're going to meet them you see. Yeah. Okay. So what we're learning from here about the mixed multitude. What are we learning? Landon?
How easily we can be influenced by someone that's not walking on the highway.
Correct. Okay? Easy. Just like how we read a little while ago in Exodus, the whole congregation complained and grumbled. Numbers put it more direct that it was a mixed multitude who ended up persuading them, influencing them. So we gotta be careful, the mixed multitude being grafted in, being in the body of the side, knowing that we are Yashrael, grafted in or not, native born. We gotta be careful of the mixed multitude, the people that we hang around with. Easily they can tell plant something in your ears. Next thing you grumbling, complaining about something that God hates. Okay, so now they're grumbling, complaining about meat again. Okay, so we know that God provided them with quail in Exodus and manna. Okay, and I guess in this part of their travels, they didn't have meat for whatever reason. It was just manna they were living off of. Okay. So it goes on to say, and the people, verse 5. Remember the fish, okay, verse 5. We remember the fish which we eat without cost in Mitzrayim. Again, looking back at their past life. They used to feed us fish for free. Used to do all this work and just give us all the fish we want. The cucumbers, and the melons, and the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic. But now our bean is dried up. There is not to look at but this manna. You see how ungrateful the children were? They thought they had it good. But we're also seeing that God he needs to try his people. He needs to test them to see if they're being worthy to enter into the promised land. Anybody else got anything you want to share in this passage right here?
So it looked like they wanted to turn back into their old ways,
Yeah.
back in Mitzrayim, and just like Lot's wife, she turned back. What happened with her? So that's another example where that I've caught was they're trying to go back to their old ways. God's trying to show us something else.
Yeah. Okay, also, how many of us used to live a pretty, change of perspective, used to live a pretty, decent, wealthy life. Like, you had money, life was pretty comfortable. Yeah. Like, man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm making all this money. Got this cool car. I got home, this, that. I'm eating good. I'm eating like all the priciest meats. I'm buying all the priciest liquors, whatever you spend your money on. And then we look at our life now, like total different, total opposite, total different side of the spectrum. Now we understand that God is providing what we need. Like all that stuff we had in the past, we don't need that. But now the children, they're looking at their past like, oh man, I used to have all this stuff, I used to be able to eat all this good food. Now I'm stuck here in the desert. Where's that feedback coming from? Can we get Yahuah?
And also too, it seems like fasting wasn't in their regimen of a daily routine too, or weekly, monthly, whatever, because they mentioned there are all these different foods, you know what I mean? That's what Moses speaks about, like gluttony and not being slothful and everything like that. And so I find that interesting. They listed all the food and not being grateful for the food that they have that actually will sustain them.
And it's like they couldn't endure, They knew where they were going. God told them the promise. But they couldn't handle the pressures. Let's go Marlon and then Christina. Well, did you raise your hand? Okay, no. Christina.
Okay, so I wrote it out, so so I found it interesting how the ones that are trying to turn them back, they're basically lusting after food. And
Yes.
I find it interesting that they, like when you're looking on Instagram and it's Foodstagram, it's all the food posts and they call it food porn. Food porn with me. And it's always like seafood boils, pork, chicharrones, all sorts of breads, all these things that aren't as good as, like, we're made to think that it's expensive and yummy and luxurious, and that's the life we will live, but it's actually not. But there's chicken skin chicharrones, that's okay.
Anyhow,
That's funny, we should actually stop watching cooking shows because for the same reason I'm sitting here, I'm like, you don't even look good. You're sitting here making this out of rack and bacon and everything. Yeah. Like, it's like literally, and that's what's so funny. It's like everything you're showing that you eat. So it's not even.
all right, let's continue. Oh, Marlon.
Just speak about the food. Who here loved the crab video that Stacey got to see on the Telegram? That was that's a delicacy, right? Now I'm allergic to crab and shrimp and lobster, but that was and is a delicacy for billions of people, and that was crazy. So
Okay, let's continue. Okay, verse 7. Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its appearance like the appearance of begotten. So look what it says. It's like a white resin. Okay. Now the manna. Okay, the people went about and gathered it, ground it on millstones, or beat it in a mortar, and cooked it in a pot, and made cakes of it. And its taste was like the taste of cakes baked with oil. When the dew fell on the camp at night, the manna fell on it. Moshe heard the people weeping throughout their clans, each man at the door of his tent. The displeasure of Yahweh burned exceedingly in the eyes of Moshe. It was evil. So Moshe said to them, why have you done evil to your servant? Why have I not found favor in your eyes to put the burden of all these peoples on me? Okay, so we also see, right, Moshe Moshe being tried in a different type of way than what the children were being tried. Remember we read last week, like 1 Corinthians 10:13. No trial has overtaken you except such as is common to man. And if Elohim is trustworthy, we shall not allow you to be tried beyond what you are able, but with the trial shall also make a way of escape, enabling you to bear it. Okay? So we also going to see Moshe it's starting to get to him too. It's starting to take a toll on him. Emotionally, mentally. Yeah. Verse 12. Was it I who conceived all these people? Was it I who brought them forth? That you should say to me, carry them in blossom as the foster father carries a nursing child to the land which he swore to their fathers. Okay? So we gotta understand that reason why God chose Moshe for a reason and a purpose. Believing that he was capable of handling this task that he has for him. Like, Moshe still gotta believe that he can do it. Okay? He's not a robot in this scenario. Yeah. So we gotta realize that God believed that he could do it, and we see the story of Moshe and how it happened. He believed that he could do it. He appointed it for that purpose. He knew that it wasn't too much for him. Okay? So whatever we're going through, know that it's not too much for you. Just keep going. It's interesting. We heard about the story about Yah telling Moshe to strike the rock. He struck the rock, right? And we're going to come across the next story about when they were thirsty again. How he didn't listen to his instruction. Verse 13 says, where am I to get meat to give all these people? But they weep before me, saying, give us meat to eat. I am unable to bear all these peoples alone, because the burden is too heavy for me. If you are doing this to me, kill me. Please kill me, if I have not found favor in your eyes, and let me not see my evil. Okay. What are you seeing here? What are we learning? Do we have any commentary here? Christian?
See, he's kind of complaining as well. He wants to the point. He's at his grateful point.
Yeah. Okay. So even he rather die than continue with the burdens that these people are putting on him, or to continue with the job that Yah has put on him. Christina, did you want us to share or?
I mean, it's like even people like working the hardest and doing their best, they still end up having weak moments. They still are like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Please, just make it stop. And I know I've been there.
Thank you. It's true. That's what's happening to Moshe. As we continue, then Yah said to Moshe, gather to me 70 men of the elders of Yisrael, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of appointment, and let them stand there with you, and I shall come down and speak with you there, and you shall take of the Spirit that is in you and put on them. So basically, bring them over here. I'm going to go ahead and share the Spirit that I gave you. I'm going to share it with you 70 guys. Okay, that's what's happening here. They shall bear the burden of the people with you. Okay, let me take the burden that you claim to have. Let me go ahead and put it on these guys as well. Okay. I'm so compassionate on you. You don't gotta do it. You don't gotta bear the burden by yourself. Now 70 other guys can feel what you feel. I shall come down and speak with you there, and shall take of the Spirit that is in you and put on them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, so that you do not bear it yourself alone. And say to the people, set yourselves apart for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat, because you have wept in the hearing of Yahuah, saying, who is giving us meat to eat? For it was well with us in Mitzrayim. Yah shall give you meat, and you shall eat. You're going to eat not 1 day, not 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but for a new moon, for a whole month. I'm going to flood you with meat. Okay? Until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes an abomination to you, because you have rejected Yahuah who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why did we come out of Mitzrayim, Egypt? Because you have rejected the provision that he's already provided for you. You rejected the things that Yah has already given you, the things that you need. Rejected the promise, entering into the promised land. How are you guys experiencing these passages right now? Go ahead. Marley?
But his younger son spoke, and I think this happened to some people as well. And instead of chastising the young son for smoking, did the trick of he went out and bought a whole carton of cigarettes, and he made his son smoke the entire pack. And the son was crying and snot nose and puking and barfing, and didn't want any more cigarettes after that. So he tried the lesson in. He thought he was cool smoking these cigarettes. So he literally made him smoke more cigarettes until he was sick of it.
I heard about experiences like that before. But yeah, that's the example. Okay, verse 21. And Moshe said, the people in whose midst I am are 600,000 men of foot. But you have said, I give them meat to eat for a new moon of days. Flocks and herds be slain for them, to be sufficient for them. With all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them, to be sufficient for them. And Yahuah said to Moshe, is the arm of Yahuah too short? Now see whether my word means you or not. And Moshe went out and spoke to the people the words of God. And he gathered 70 men of the elders of the peoples and placed them around the tent. Okay, stop down to 31 real quick. And the wind went forth, verse 31, from Yahuah, and it brought quail from the sea and let them fall beside the camp about a day's journey on this side and about a day's journey on the other side, all around the camp, and about 2 cubits above the surface of the ground. And the people were of all that day and all that night, all the next day, gathered the quail. He who at least gathered 10 homers, and they spread it out for themselves all around the camp. The meat was still between their teeth before it was chewed, and and the wrath of Yahuah burned against the people. Yah struck the people with exceeding great plague, and he called the name of that place Kibroth, Tower, because there they burned the people who had lust. There they buried the people who had lusted. Kibroth, the Tower, the people set out the hits, both they were at Hatzor. Okay. You're Yahuah.
I see this as one of those be careful what you ask for scenarios, because you just might get it, and you might not want it, so.
What else are we seeing here? What else are we seeing?
God is not like the players.
Okay. And it's almost as if they were like animals, savages. You know, all this meat, and all they care about now is just eating and getting their fill. Like, can you imagine how disgusting that scene was, that Yah had to witness his children act like crazy animals over all this meat? How can this story be applied in our lives today? How are we seeing it in this world today? Shabbat. Be a begotten. What else?
I definitely feel like the food represents just temporary happiness. So anything that is just temporarily, it's not true joy, it's not joy within, it's just world's earthly lust that may satisfy the flesh for just a short time. Not focusing on that, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Okay. Also, you know, it's just these distractions. Yeah.
Made me think of something like Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday. Yeah. We see the videos. Okay. And it's like, Christian.
It's almost like guys telling the people, you think you know better what you need for yourself? So he knows what's the best for us.
This is what we gotta, Marlon.
You made me think of that Bob Marley quote that I have to look up bottomless pit of what you think is going to make you happy and satisfy you. And Bob said, money is numbers, and numbers never end. If it takes money to be happy, your search for happiness will never end. Bob Marley.
It's funny too, because when Yah blesses us, he blesses us with the best. Right? And that's what I think is funny. It's like he blesses them with quail, and if you eat quail before, like it's not chicken. You know what I mean? Like quail is choice meat. It's not. And that's what's so funny. It's like you find it in like fine restaurants, and you know what I mean. And so that's what I think it's funny. It's like he just didn't bring him any bird. He brought them the choice bird, and they're sitting there complaining about it. And he's raining down bread from heaven, and they're complaining about it. Like and that's what I'm really about this whole thing. It's like. Nowadays, it's like, would we be those people? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what's interesting, is like, we live in a place where literally this place has the ability to feed the whole world, at least the United States, right? And we're building houses on top of the places where that nobody can afford, right? And so that's what I think is powerful. So understanding what we're doing as men and stewards with the resources that God's put before us, because it comes down to us at the macro level in our household, is like, how are we being responsible with the resources in this place.
Joe?
And then when you examine how much the east gathered, 10 homers inside, almost 5,000 pounds. Okay, so their gathering is still that they're never gonna get clear.
Yeah.
And not looking at them as like justifying all this for you, you're not as much out that and they do this to you. It seems like you was suicide.
Thank you.
Rabbit animals, tend to be, they were acting like straight gluttons.
Okay? So when we think about it, all right? Traveling, going to the promised land. We, on this journey, okay? On the highway, on the narrow road into the gates. Like, what happens in between this time until that point? God is teaching us, be satisfied with what you have right now. We know that He's going to provide. He's going to give us the things that we need. But He's saying, I got something better for you guys, way better for you guys. Just keep going. Without grumbling and complaining. I'm going to take care, I'm going to provide when the time is right. No? These guys, they wasn't seeing the promised land. They was only living in the past, seeing what they used to have. Complaining about their traveling, their journeys, right? So, let's be a people that's focused on the promised land. Focus on what He promised, His promises to us when we enter into the gates. Yeah. Numbers chapter 14, verse 1. Numbers chapter 14, verse 1, and it reads, Then all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night. The children of Yashrael grumbled against Moshe and Aaron, and all the congregation said to them, If only we had died in the land of Mitzrayim, or if only we had died in the wilderness. Why is Yahuah bringing us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should become a prey? Would it not be better for us to turn back to Mitzrayim? They said to each other, Let us appoint a leader, let us turn back to Mitzrayim. Moshe and Aharon fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Yashrael. Yahushua son of Nun and Caleb son of Yephunneh were among those who had spied out the land, tore their garments, and they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Yashrael, saying, The land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. Okay, so the story happening here is now they're out of the wilderness. Now they're entering into the promised lands. Caleb and Joshua is saying, this land is great land, but what made them say, let's go turn back, let's go point another leader for us? What made them say that? I can't hear what you're saying, sorry.
Really, because they weren't the ones that spied him, and they weren't the ones that saw. So they're like, oh, this is too difficult. We can't even see what's going on.
Okay.
How are we supposed to trust what they're saying?
Yeah, anybody else? What is the story that's happening right now? What's going on? Why did they even have to spy the land? Who remembers? Bonnie.
This is, I think, tribe to go into the land and into the promised land, and they've seen giants and they've seen all these intimidating things, and only 2 representatives or 2 tribes out of all of them said that it was good and to not be afraid.
Well, the rest of the 10 was like, oh, they got big swords and giants, they're gonna come kill us, and they're gonna wipe us out. And
Like grasshoppers.
yeah, they're gonna, okay? So they were instilling fear into the rest of the congregation. Again, same story. All it takes is a couple people to destroy a nation. Yeah? Do you have something you wanted to say? Okay, so that's the story. Okay, now we're here. Now they want to appoint a leader to take them all the way back to Mitzrayim. Why would people do that? Why do people want to constantly go back and travel backwards? Lane.
Because it's easy.
Because it was easy. It was getting taken care of. Christian.
It's comfortable and familiar.
Comfortable and familiar. Honestly, I'd rather go back to easy. Well,
You know how they say, better the devil you know. I've seen so many situations where people, in the domestic case, will go back to a convicted abuser or a very bad situation, time and time again, and it is a deep psychological trauma that just makes you more, like Christian said, it's something you're so familiar with, right? I don't know how many guys in here have been the nice good guy and seen a girl go back to the bad boy. I've been in that situation. Nobody else, just me. Okay, just me. So I've been in that situation where like, hey, I'm doing things this guy never ever did. I'm like showing this girl something that's like beyond amazing compared to what she's doing, but she still wants that dude. Wow, better than what you know.
keep on. Okay, let's continue with this story, okay? Verse 8. If Yah has delighted in us, and he shall bring us into this land and give it to us, the land flowing, which is flowing with milk and honey. Okay, so Yahushua and Caleb, he's still trying to, persuade them that, hey, don't worry, fear not. Yah will take care of this land he promised us is flowing with milk and honey. Trying to be positive about what's happening here. Only do not, and you can't be like they know the truth, they know what's right, they know who they've been witnesses this whole wilderness, going through the wilderness of Yah's strength and his power. And they standing in it 100%. Let's be a people that stand in his protection 100%. Only do not rebel against Yah, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their defense is turned away from them, and Yah is with us. Do not fear them. But all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Yikes. You guys crazy. Get these two guys out of here, let's go kill them. Do not fear them. But all the congregation said to those stoning with stones. Then the esteem of Yah appeared in the tent of appointment before all the children of Yashrael. Yahuah said to Moshe, how long shall I be scorned by these people? How long shall I not be trusted by them with all the signs which I have done in their midst? How long? I showed them time and time again, over and over again. my provision, my protection, my power. He says, let me strike them with pestilence, disinherit them, and make of you a nation greater and mightier than they. Moshe said to you, and the Mitzrayim shall hear it, for by your power you brought these people up from their midst. They shall say to the inhabitants of this land that they have heard that you, Yahuah, are in the midst of these people, that you, Yahuah, are seen eye to eye, and that your cloud stands above them, and you go before them in a column of cloud by day and a column of fire by night. Now, if you shall kill these people as one man, then the nations which have heard of your report shall speak, saying, because Yahuah was not able to bring this people to the land which he swore to give them, therefore he slew them in the wilderness. And now I pray, let the power of Yah be great, as you have spoken, saying, Yahuah is patient and of great loving commitment, forgiving crookedness and transgressions, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of the fathers of the children to the third and fourth generation. Please forgive the crookedness of this people according to the greatness of your loving commitment, as you have forgiven this people from Mitzrayim even until now. Yahuah said, I shall forgive according to your word. But truly, as I live, all the earth is filled with this name of Yahuah. For none of these being men who have seen my name and the signs which I did in Mitzrayim and in the wilderness and have tried me down these 10 times and have disobeyed my voice, shall see the land of which I swore to their fathers, nor any of those who scorned me see it. All right, let's stop here. What are you learning from this? This is what we're getting from the scriptures. Taylor.
Just that they were being ungrateful and not having faith in love.
Yeah. Because of all their ungratefulness, because of their unfaithfulness to his promise, what did he say? None of you would make it in. Not none of you, but the majority of you aren't gonna make it in. You tried me. Who are you to try? Who are we to try out? God says, the law says, do not try Yah your Elohim. They tried him, it says 10 times. Okay?
It's just interesting how much, again, I know I'm saying this, but seeing more and more how the Old Testament still is in harmony with the New Testament, because it's saying it doesn't matter if you are born or you have that blood, if your heart's not right, you're not making it in. And that's exactly what the New Testament is still saying, you know, and even how only 2 tribes out of the 12 made it. So there's a narrow gate here, it's a narrow path, and few will find. And I think all of this too, it's like if Joe was saying earlier with how like spiritual life wasn't right. So if you're not right spiritually, then that's when the grumbling comes. That's when you have no faith, all these things. So to really like that is a sign if you're on the highway or are you taking a detour maybe in your spiritual life. And ultimately those who exactly like their spiritual life wasn't right, they weren't, their heart wasn't right, they didn't get to the promised land.
Thank you. Okay, it goes on to say, but, okay, so none of these people are going to see the land. Then he goes on to say, but my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him, and followed me completely. So, what are we learning just from this passage? therein.
Who was separating the wheat and the tares.
See that?
Caleb was obedient.
Is obedient. It says he has a different spirit within him. Job.
You follow it completely
Completely.
and not harming it, not happily, not.
Yeah. So at this time too as well, okay, we also understand that there is different spirits working in people.
I would say the spirit of obedience. That's why the scripture we're talking about is the spirit of son, the spirit of the sons of disobedience, right?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Okay. So my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him, and it's followed me completely. I shall bring into the land where he went. His seed shall inherit it. Since the Amalekites and the Canaanites and dwelling in the valley, turn back to Juan and set out to the wilderness by the way of the sea breeze. Yah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, how long shall this evil congregation have this grumbling against me? I've heard the grumblings which the children of Yashrael are grumbling against me. Say to them, as I live, declares Yahuah, as you have spoken in my hearing, so I do to you. Carcasses of you who have grumbled against me are going to fall in this wilderness. All of you who are registered according to your entire number, 20 years old and above. Everybody 20 years old and above never went into the promised land. Except Caleb and Yahushua. Think about that. Let's think about this as well. How, like really, okay? Because we all here to improve in our relationship with the Most High, correct? So let's take a moment, think about, okay, how long shall this evil congregation, not say we're an evil congregation, okay, but how long, we still got complaints and we're still grumbling, how much longer are you going to do it for? Okay. Because like we've been learning through these examples that he's only going to receive so much. And he goes on to say, none of you, verse 30, except Caleb, son of Yephunneh, and Yahushua, son of Nun, shall enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell in. But your little ones, whom you said would become a prey, I shall bring in. They shall know the land which you have rejected. But as for you, your carcasses are going to fall in this wilderness. And your sons shall be wanderers in the wilderness 40 years. You shall bury your horns until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness. According to the number of the days in which you spied out the land, 40 days, to bear your crookedness 40 years, and you shall know when I'm breaking off. I am Yahuah. I have spoken. I shall do this to all this evil congregation who are meeting against me. In the wilderness they are consumed, and there they die. The men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land returned and made all the congregation grumble against him by bringing an evil report of the land. Even those men who brought the evil report about the land died by the plague before Yahuah. Those men who went to spy out the land, only Yahushua, Caleb remained alive. Moshe spoke these words to all the children of Yashrael, the people mourned greatly. They rose up early in the morning and went up to the top of the mountain, saying, see, we have indeed sinned, but we shall go up to the place which Yah had spoken of. But Moshe said, why do you now transgress the mouth of Yah, since it does not prosper? Do not go up, lest you be smitten by your enemies, for Yahuah is not in your midst. because the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you have turned away from Yahuah. Yahuah is not with you, but they presume to go up to the mountain top. But neither the ark of the covenant of Yah nor Moshe left the camp. So the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in the mountain came down and struck them and beat them down, even to Oahu. Here we are.
I see that, as Messiah said, he's a father to the fatherless. So it's like the children are still gonna make it into the kingdom because they were only led by what they were taught. But since you guys failed to do it, now I'm gonna take up my cross, my whatever staff or whatever, and bear it for the children and break them in, and then they're gonna learn the land the way you should have been taught to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else got anything they want to share from this set of scriptures? What did you learn here? I know we read a lot. Lenny?
So he didn't bring in anyone that was under the age of 20. And those people were children, right? And there, other people probably just had those step next, allowing the children to come in so that they can all learn the way, the way that they're coming in. It's all like you want the children, so their necks aren't stiff, they can learn the way.
Okay, they had this is the thing, right? Okay, they had the opportunity to win the battle. Yah was with them. He was going to go before them. Caleb, Yahushua was telling them that. And then now when Yah says, oh, you guys are not going to make it in, you guys are going to perish in the wilderness. Only your sons and daughters are going to go in. Oh shucks, maybe we can, be redeemed now. Let's take it upon ourselves to go against Yah's protection. To go against what Yah already pretty much ordained for them. So what did we ultimately learn here from the children that lived in here after we were out of the favor and protection of Yah? What did we learn from them? When?
In verse 20, because I shall forgive them according to your word, but they're forgiven, but you still remain disobedient.
They were forgiven. But the hard truth is that, and it's something that let's sink in. Okay. That it was too late. They thought that they could go and redeem themselves from their sins. Said, we have sinned greatly. Let's go. Let's just do it. And maybe I will find people with us. Pretty much what's going on. God wasn't with them. Moshe wasn't with them. The ark wasn't with them. Nothing was with them but themselves. And what happened? They all fell by the sword. All of them. Everybody who went. So, I just want to leave everybody with, even speak for myself, is that let's not take advantage of the grace God has given us. It's not taking advantage of the provision, the protection, everything He already been giving us, providing us with our needs constantly. It's living gratitude with everything that we have. Let's understand that, yeah, here's our complaints and our grumblings. Okay? Let's turn those complaints and grumblings into heartfelt prayers. Pray about it. Okay? Don't complain to people about it. Just pray, talk to God about it. He's gonna provide it when the time is right. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, next week, next month. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be a time when, look, we're finally being able to enter into the promised land. Caleb and Joshua saw the land flowing with milk and honey. I'm telling you, this is what the land has. God has prepared this place for us. We just got to go and take it now. He's the one that's going to wipe all these people out for us. You got to have that type of faith. That He's doing the work before us. Whatever issues and problems that we have right now. He's going to do the work for us if we diligently obey His voice. That's what Caleb said. Right? Alright, so let's come to a close. Let's just finish off with some comments. What you like, what you learn, what are you going to take with you moving forward? Christina.
So, towards the end, it came to me that consciously disobey because of His grace, not be given forgiven. This is not true man. Man's love in Yah's eyes. And that we need to turn our things into prayers, which we're trying to do. And since the promised land is full of milk and honey, it kind of makes me laugh. The faith in spite of access is already. I just keep it going.
Yeah.
I would say it's not fear because you will be provided everything that you need. And if you're not provided that, might not necessarily get in that moment. And it's really important to see on the highest vibration of
Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Joe?
It's a good reminder not to be against those that are going to turn around. When you think about the relation and even family, our husbands, and that's something that I need to be conscious of, like how we against my husband, that's something that happens. And to last part of this scripture, in Numbers 14, where the key word is that they pursued and they went up to the mountaintop. God was not appreciating our presumptions, even to that extent they didn't even say or ask for His direction. So that was kind of like the last straw. They included us just a reminder of ways to go to our direction and we're kind of that's not that's not what to do, what to say to them.
Thank you. That was a very powerful share. Thank you. Right now, who? Jesse? Oh, Jesse.
So I think moving forward was I was planning and maybe more cognizant of the situation I put as reacting and making me want to think about it. And how like like for example, like when I was pregnant, like towards the end, it was like hard to move around. But like, even though it was like hard to move around, like he's putting us in that situation where we're like afterwards, when the baby's here, it's like you're gonna be thankful you don't have that there. In the exact situation, you know, like the situation you're maybe going through, or like say, for example, so my son was today when I was hard to move around, and then the baby was born, but my stomach wasn't there, and easier to move around, but say, being a mom, it's like you don't really know what to do, so like that situation may be like hard and whatnot, but like look back, like, oh, I don't have to do this, this, and that, I can be grateful for the situation I have now, because I feel like as I'm still struggling with being a new mom, like navigating, like especially with like crying and like all that stuff, but I look back at the pregnancy, like doing all that hard stuff makes this situation more grateful for it rather than not appreciating any of that, and then it just makes the situation like, how could I appreciate this? If that makes sense.
Thank you, Jesse. Hear me out?
And another thing too is understanding that we're called to be the servants of Yah and be the healers of His ministry. You know, so it's like there's people out here in this world that don't have a arm, don't have a leg. You know what I mean? That are going through different disabilities and things like that. You know, but we have to be that ministry to heal them. So it's like we can't cripple our minds. You know what I mean? When we have working bodies and limbs. You know what I mean? To do the things, to do the work, and go to these people. And even if it's not like giving the cure, it's just giving the word. You know what I mean? Which is the cure. You know, so just not the physical, but like the spiritual too, you know. So it's like we're called to do all this with the working bodies that we have, you know. Let's be great and be healed for the nation of Israel and for the Gentiles that call on His name.
Let's go, Lenny, and then Benny.
Super humbling study for me. My takeaways from it definitely are going to be everything that comes out of my mouth matters. Every single word, every action is accounted for. So just be more cognizant of my words, my behaviors, my actions, because we were able to see what happens to people that continuously do.
Yeah, it's interesting because this lesson was a good illustration on being upbuilding versus being complaining. You know what I mean? Because of this, even things, you know, walking away from somebody who knows when to people feeling upbuilt versus being drained because you're complaining about something. Yah is the solution for our problems. It's the source of our lessons we need to learn from those issues, right? And so having an attitude with being joyful of what we're going through and recognize that we're going through what we're going through for a reason, right? And so what are we supposed to learn from it? So complaining is just, you know, unnecessary responsibilities. That's what we're learning from this lesson.
Vince.
Jennifer had a share in the chat.
Okay, we'll go Vince, and then we have somebody on Zoom that wants to share.
She wrote it in at least.
Okay, I'll go look at it.
For me, my big takeaway of this is made me look back at my life and a lot growing up and how much it's a reminder for me to be grateful for what I have now in my life. It's always be happy for others when they find success in their life, things that they have, to not be negative or be upset because I don't have what they have because that's not meant for me. Those are going to give me what's meant for me. It's going to show me the path of what's I'm supposed to be following for my life. Because I look at it as I'm the pawn or chessboard. May not meant to. I might not be meant to be the pieces that make the big change in life. I may be that piece that helps them make a big change. So it's just one of those things that reminds me to be grateful for everything I have today, what I have in my those things that I don't have, or I may feel like I fall short. Like some of us are hardworking, and some of us are working hard, right? There's a difference between the two. Those really hard workers are going to ask to do something and fall short, you may stumble or frustrated. What's working hard is you're going to continue to push through no matter what. You fall short, so it's okay. But there's a lesson. I'm going to continue to keep working. Continue to keep working. Because he's going to tell me what my lesson is for that. An example of my life is this year. This year I was trying to be open the storm quad and partial tear of my ACL, but I was also given another opportunity of working in the Air Force team in the tactical schools. So, although there was one that I really wanted, there was another opportunity. It's just a reminder for me that there's all these opportunities, there's all these things in life that we have out there. We just have to continue to believe and have faith to walk in His Word. To walk around with it. And something is going to be there for you. We are all not meant for the same thing. We are all supposed to be reaching the same direction. He's going to give us the same things.
Thank you, Vince. Anybody else want to share? Joe?
Spiritually speaking, and right now we're living pretty much kind of this world feels like it has so much to offer us, but our hope, which you touched on, is God's kingdom, which is when it is established here on earth. That's a vertical thing. It's a bigger picture. We're not striving after material things in this world. We're on this information and opportunity, this energy, and I live such a lavish lifestyle. This is not the work that we're looking for. He's sustaining us in this world that we are now, where we're on earth, studying after these things. We're looking at the uses of God's kingdom as a whole. So I really like the relation between the story that we just learned about our hope for the future as well.
Thank you, Joe. Why?
That's just, yeah, like Kapolei said, it's very lonely. It's like if I just realizing with the people that get hiring and it is grumbling and complaining, then my heart is not right. It's not in their face. So, like, check that and where it stems from. And I also think, like, complaining is different than maybe like communicating with somebody how it can be done better. Like, complaining is just like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So like, not that the situation isn't tough and maybe certain things should be done differently, but in the way I communicate to somebody, I can communicate it versus talk about it versus complain about it. And then also kind of how I said before, just learning more and more as reading the Old Testament, how it's so beautifully in tune with, or how the whole Bible is in tune. Because it's like, this all shows when the people, his chosen people were in the wilderness, they had testing time, they had to prepare. He was preparing them, they had to prepare themselves for the promised land. Because the way they were as it is, it's like, I will guide you, I will teach you, because they didn't know all of his ways. But I don't think they had to be in the land for 40 years if they just got through each lesson.
Yeah.
Then we can go on to the next one and we can get getting closer and closer. And ultimately, when it comes to that final exam and that final test, then, you fail. It's not just, hey, you get to retake it. And that's pretty crazy. So, just how, preparing ourselves as the bride is like, all his people in the wilderness, they were addressing him as their Elohim. So they believed in him. Their works weren't following his voice. They weren't obeying his voice diligently. So same thing in the New Testament, like I'm talking to family, they think believing in faith is just believing about the Messiah. Not believing, yes, that's the first part. After that, believing everything he said to do, believing all the instructions he has for us, that's believing and having faith in its entirety, not just about we're just believing about the Messiah. So again, like just it's so beautiful how it sync this whole purpose.
Thank you, baby. Christian.
Basically learned that anytime that I decide to debate about anything, I'm completely against the Most High. So we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch ourselves all the time.
Hear me out?
I think it encourages me to self-reflect a lot more on a lot of the past experience that I've had in multiple scenarios that probably just didn't go good. And just like, really, really bring it back to now, and really meditate on the fact that I've come a long way, it's still going that way, so it's a beautiful thing, and it's a self-reflection, it's definitely encouraging me to study.
Anybody else? Once, twice, Christina?
Pretty opposite. Definitely have to think about all the things that we've been through and how it's prepared us to be better and to be more compassionate and follow the way.
Awesome. Well, glad you guys enjoyed the word from y'all today, all those examples. And we do our best to do better, lift up, build up each other. We're very good. Love like how we should love us, love like how we love us. Be heading in the right direction. So let's go ahead and call the highway man up, and then we'll finish up. Jennifer Moore just made a comment that said today's subject was very relevant to today as well. This time. Can we get the guys to come up? Just so long since I felt your grace. Taught me how to walk in faith. Now I see what you've done for me. Yes, it's my turn to show I truly believe. You rescued me from drowning. You got my hand when my feet were stumbling. Now I see the light, open up my eyes to the truth that was spoken. Learning all your ways, a little more each day to the word that you always open. Psalms 119, 142, your righteousness is righteousness forever, and your Torah is truth. Distress and anguish shall follow me. Your commands are mighty light. The righteousness of your witnesses forever. Make me understand that I might live. I call with all my heart. Answer me, O Yahuah. I observe your laws. I have called upon you. Save me that I might guard your witness. Arise before dawn. Cry for help. I have waited for your word. My eyes have gone before the night watches to study your word. Hear my voice according to your word. Love you, HalleluYah. Revive me according to your reign. Show us your word. You created the universe. Beginning, Yah created the heavens and the earth. Meet us for us to enjoy with love. Although we do what we see all the nations, your truth of favor takes us through tribulation. Now I see the light, open up my eyes to the truth that was spoken. Learning all your ways, a little more each day to the word that you've given. It's my prayer, always open. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 4. For your glory of both of you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. 2 Samuel 22, verse 3. My Elohim is my rock, and take refuge in him. My shield, my horn, my deliverance, my tower, my refuge, my savior, save me from might call on the one faith that sees of my enemies. You rescue me from love. You rescued me from drowning. You grabbed my hand when my feet were stumbling. While the wicked one misseems all the nations, your shield of faith protects us through tribulation. Now I see the light, opens up my eyes to the truth that was spoken. Learning all your ways, little for each day, to the word that you give. It's my prayer, always obey. Hallelujah. Oh,
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, Yahuah, Elohim, the Most High Yahuah, thank you for your Shabbat, the seventh day that you gave us for us to gather, to learn your word, and to be with you, and appreciate everything that you've given us. Thank you for the Spirit leading Kaika into the study, that we were able to learn the examples through what you provided your children through the wilderness, taking the Mitzrayim and letting us humble ourselves to understand that we cannot be complainers entering into the reign of your kingdom. So thank you for the study. Thank you for the word. Truly, it's a blessing. Thank you for your son, Yahusha, died for us and let him walk as he walked. Truly appreciate you. Pray these things to your son, Yahusha, our son. Amen.
Brother Yahuah and Jordana provided lunch for us today. You guys. Right, so we're going to continue to just fellowship for a little bit, have a meal, bring some bread, and then let's enjoy the rest of the time here together. A lot of us will be going to the Revolution concert tonight at the YESHA'YAHU, 7 p.m. Everyone's invited. So you guys want to come on down with us. Brothers and sisters will be heading on there later this evening. Okay. Joe.
Every now and then. Dude, we got 2 hours and 22 minutes over here on this one. All right, y'all. So that's it for the stream, yo. Brother Judah right here. Yo, Judah, you want to say something? We about to be out.
Yeah, man.
You know what I
Thanks for
mean?
joining us. Have a blessed Shabbat. See us next week. Come check out the concert. 17th here at Alakati CrossFit Gym. Stay tuned.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You want to say anything, Christian? You want to say anything? Shabbat shalom. Anything?
Aloha.
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom.
All right, y'all. We will see y'all probably at Bible study. You know what I mean? If not, we will see y'all next week. Shabbat shalom.